Hey, what's up, everyone? It's Courtney. We're back for another episode of the Diamond Within podcast. We have a very special guest here today, and her name is Alex Mikle.
What's up, guys?
I met Alex at, we have a mutual friend who invited me to his mastermind, and Alex was one of the speakers there. And I was like fascinated by her story, and the more I've learned about her and seen what she's doing like through social media, I want to reach out to her and get to know her. And so I invited her to be on my podcast after getting to know her a little bit, and here she is. Alex,
Nice
how
to be
are you?
here. Good to have me.
Yay. Thank you so much. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? And
Yeah, sure. Where to start? Well, I was born in Minnesota. Grew up playing ice hockey, and that was kind of like my life growing up was hockey. And I went to college to go be a strength and conditioning coach, essentially. So like I loved the concept of training and getting faster and stronger and better on the ice. And so I took that with me to college with my exercise sports science degree. But during that time, I was like, I kind of want to do something more. And I joined the Army when I was 18. And so I went to school doing my bachelor's, and I was in the Army. And then I was like, well, I need more. So I was on the track and cross country team. So I was a very busy girl in college. And I just love being active, and I love being on a team and being a part of something. And then um, I joined active duty and commissioned as a field artillery officer in 2016. Um, and I've been doing field artillery for the last 10 years, but like 13 years in the Army total. And throughout that time, I've been able to get like my master's degree, and I'm getting my PhD right now. I have, gone to airborne school. I've done master fitness trainer. I've gone all over the world doing fun stuff with the Army. Fun. And let's see, I've moved around quite a bit because I lived in Colorado when I was active duty, and now I'm living here in Utah. And I've kind of taken a lot of these cumulative experiences I've had with training as an athlete myself, being a strength and conditioning coach for other people, being in the Army and realizing what it takes to be like an elite level performer. And I've combined all of these things together to create my coaching business, Rounds Complete Fitness. So Rounds Complete is a field artillery term that means like you've done all of your rounds. So like you're done with the mission, end of mission, move on to the next. So I kind of coined that and then put it into my coaching business. And for the last like year or so, I've been primarily coaching women in the military to help get up to these new standards that the Secretary of War has in placed on us. And it's been really, really rewarding and super fun. But I'm expanding my niche out a little bit more to just like high achievers and high performers in general, just because I feel like people across all different enterprises could use that same mentality.
hey, a bullet point version is awesome.
Yeah.
It's like me in 5 minutes.
Yeah, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, I love that you said, like, I feel like I gotta do more. Like, I gotta do more. And it's like, I feel the same way. Like, I was never meant to just be one thing. And for me, I blame it on once I got into nursing school and I got the progress bug, I'm calling it, because I was so intimidated to get into nursing school. Like, I was a music major fresh out of high school with, I wanted to do like flute performance or something.
Uh,
That's what I play. And then finding that I was actually excelling and doing well with all the stuff that I was dealing with I was pregnant twice going through school,
oh,
by the way.
geez.
Yeah, that was fun. Um, like I can do this. It's like, and now I'm like, I'm a dang good nurse.
Yeah, yeah.
Like caring for the pediatric patients that I told you about earlier, and those who watch my podcast, I've talked about my pediatric patients. But for those of you who don't know, they're severely immunocompromised and disabled with tracheostomies and G tubes. Most are immobile or nonverbal, so but it's such a rewarding population to work with because you feel their spirit, you feel their innocence, and the schedule's also nice, so I'm not going to complain.
Yeah, yeah.
So, to your story, I love that you've taken everything that you've incorporated with your training, and it's like this doesn't just work for the women in the military. This applies to anyone who wants to be a high achiever. And it's like you see that there's a need for it and you're running with it. I feel like there's a lot of people that need to just wake up to who they can really be. But goodness, going through the army and now you're in the National Guard, right?
Yep, Utah now.
Yeah, going through that and the training and everything you've learned, that's got to be really tough. Like, I admire the military so much and everything that they do for our safety and what they endure themselves. And with these new standards that were placed on female military personnel, it's like it's got to be really hard. Could you walk us through a time where it just felt impossible or unachievable? It's like you're looking at what you got to do, like, I can do this.
Yeah, I'll paint a little bit bigger picture. So I was coined the nickname Machine when I was in ROTC because I was like the fastest and had the highest PT score, and like I literally was like a machine. I was like 120 pounds soaking wet, but could do things that like most women that age and size can't do. And so that was kind of like my identity, right? And like, oh, I am the high achiever in fitness. I set the standard. And then when I went to basic training in AIT, I won the high fitness award for both cycles. So like for 4 months running, everyone across the entire like battalion knew who I was as that. And
Machine.
yeah, just like machine. Or they called me 400 because the PT score was 300, but I almost got a 400, so 100 points higher than the maximum. So I was just like,
That's incredible.
it was insane. Like I broke the fastest like 2 mile time for like a woman across like the installation or something like that. I don't know. It's great and all, but then, as I told you, I was in ROTC. I'm in track and field and cross country, and I have school, and so my body started like taking all of that on, and I'm not fueling properly. I'm not recovering properly. So then my shins started breaking because of all of
Oh,
the running I was doing, and so both of them cracked, and I had to
oh,
stop running. Um, and then that went from me being 120 pounds soaking wet to about 150 to 160 pounds a year later because my hormones are all jacked up too. And so like
oh.
my identity completely shifted. And then I herniated some discs in my back. And so I'm like completely out for the count. And that's affected me even to this day, that disc herniation. So I had to go from being the superstar that everyone reveled and revered to I'm having to be the one on the sidelines watching, and my body's like deteriorating essentially. And so at such a young age, that was like really, really hard for me to accept because I'm like, well, who am I now? Like
Yeah,
I don't know who I am without this fitness prestige, if you will. And so for
yeah,
the past like decade or so, I've had to learn what that means to overcome a lot of injuries. And so like they've been repetitive too, because when I was younger and less wise, I would be like, okay, I feel good. Now let's throw ourselves back into it. And then it's like boom, 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 and then you just break again. So it was like
you could just say
cycles.
when I was younger and I was stupid.
Yeah, right. I was an idiot. I just kept going through these cycles and cycles, and I'm like, when is this gonna stop?
Ooh,
Um, and so the thing that kind of really screwed me was back in 2021. I went to airborne school, and it was a dream of mine to always do that. And I was on my third jump, and the winds were blowing about like 30 miles an hour. And you're only supposed to jump at about 13 knots, which is about 13 miles an hour. So more than double the amount of
yeah.
allocated wind. And so we jumped and I landed and I was able to get this activator strap undone, but my risers had kind of crossed over. And so it was blocking this one. And I'm getting pulled now because like the parachute's still inflated. And it's basically like I was like some criminal in an old Western movie getting dragged at the back of a horse.
Ah,
And So it's like pulling and pulling. I'm like, crap. And I'm trying to get underneath it, but the tension is so taut. And so
Oh my
that went on
gosh.
for like over a minute or so, and it flipped me over. So now it's wrapped completely around my neck and pulling me. And so I'm face down like that. And throughout that whole process, people kept trying to jump on top of me, but I'm like sliding underneath. So yeah, I'm like panicking. Oh, I'm dying. Like I'm literally dying. And like it was cutting
Oh.
off all the airflow and I was starting to black out. And I was like, well, today's the day I die, I guess. And through that, fortunately, they were able to stop me, but I had like lacerations on my neck and bruises all over my body and whatnot. And as a result of that, I bulged 3 discs in my neck. And for the past couple of years, it's really been difficult to exist. And so I was like, how am I going to survive with 5 discs in my spine that don't work? And from that, that causes a lot of dysregulation in your nervous system. And so my nervous system was out of whack. Like I was going through a divorce, I was getting my master's, I was getting heartbroken by the person that I was trying to date. I was like moving and doing all this craziness and trying to figure out like who the hell is Alex? And there was so much chaos during that time. But it's taken me up until like just recently to figure out how to calm my nervous system and how to accept like Alex is Alex and not try to be like everyone else and not try to set all these crazy standards and expectations that I always have. So it really boiled down to taking a couple years to like kind of go on a walkabout with all of these things that I have going on and then resting. So I've allowed myself several months to simply just rest. And I think that's
Mm.
been like the game changer. And it's allowed me to heal my nervous system, figure out who I am, what I want, the people that I want in my life. And I've felt better now than I've done in like high school and college. So it was a huge breakthrough recently. And a lot of that had to do with like healing everything that communicates through your spine and intensive chiropractic work and days off and sleeping in and whatnot. And I'm blessed and fortunate enough to be able to do that because I don't have kids and I can kind of manage my own schedule. But
Yeah.
that was a period in my life. It was a decade of like, what is happening to now? I'm like, I know what I can do now and I know what I'm capable of. So that's kind of a sort of roundabout, long-winded version, but yeah, it's been a wild ride.
Wow. That sounds pretty wild. I feel like all of us go through those types of phases in life where we feel like we like to push the limits of what we can do. And maybe, especially when we're younger and we're more in our prime.
Hmm.
And especially as women, I learned that we go through 5 stages of like hormonal changes.
Yep.
I don't tell me what they are. I can't remember, but I remember there was 5. um, because like I experienced something similar. It's like I wanted to push and push and push, and I attribute it, sorry, to when I first got into at-home fitness programs with Tony Horton's P90X.
Oh yeah, that's how I got into fitness.
Yeah.
Yeah. I met him at the Las Vegas airport. He was on the same flight as me and I was like, "Dude, Tony, you're the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing." And it was super cool. He was like, "Well, thank you and thank you for your service." And so that was like a really special moment.
Oh, I will always attribute my fitness journey to him.
Yep.
He started it all for me.
Yeah.
Love for at-home fitness and my discipline for doing it at home, making it work with kids, and just various challenges with having kids. You don't have kids, but you've had your own struggles that you've had to work around. So, but then I got to a point where it was too much
Mm-hmm.
for me. I had to switch to doing what is it, P90X3 because they're 30-minute
Oh
workouts.
yeah.
Still intense, and I love that program so much. And if I could, I would feel like I could do that all the time. But the stress was getting too much with affecting my health. Going through 7 years of nursing school to get my bachelor's with kids. My husband ended up being sick around June 2020, right and I was taking the two most difficult classes in the bachelor program.
Hmm.
And I had a newborn and I had my three other kids. It took its toll on me too. It's like I could not handle these difficult, P90X3 workouts or intense workouts. And that's when I made the shift to doing more yoga and less intense workouts, not as long, not as exhausting, because like my nervous system was feeling it too. And I had to really step back too to just practice all the things in yoga that have helped me calm my nervous system and to just back off. It's like I don't have to be that super mom. I pride myself on being like a super mom, but I don't have to be that ego in my head, right?
Yeah, I think that's where a lot of us go awry, especially in like a high achiever mentality. So it's like the the concept of being burnt out is like cool, or it's like that's what we're supposed to be doing because we're this, that, and the other, and we have all these things that we're trying to achieve. But like the narrative that I'm trying to shift is maybe you have seasons in your life where you can kind of go a little bit harder in fitness, but then maybe you have to do the yoga, Pilates, whatever route because your nervous system simply can't handle it. And so that's kind of why I'm creating this program is that not everyone is going to have the same lifestyle or capacity, but I'm going to teach you how to increase your capacity and heal your nervous system and get it to a place where you can start actually maybe pushing yourself in the gym or on hikes or on runs, etc. And so it's like not the all or nothing mentality. It's let's start laying the dirt, planting the seeds, and then watering it daily and getting that consistency. And then, okay, now we can grow. Now we have more capacity. So I think what I'm hearing you say is like you just didn't have the capacity and now you're trying to figure out how to get it back. And um, like the P90X versus the, restorative yoga, like these are two totally different modalities of training, but this is still nourishing and this still works. And trying to educate people that it's better to do something than to do nothing. So let's figure out what that something
Exactly.
is and how to work it in with your energy system, how to work it in with your time and your schedule. And so I think that's like a pivotal point that people need to reach is what can I actually do? How much time, energy, and money do I have? And how can I make the most of it so that your threshold isn't here and you're constantly here and any minor inconvenience, you're just constantly hitting your threshold. So I think that's a good lesson that people need to understand more as they get older, especially.
Yeah, exactly. Just because I'm a firm believer too, and just seeing what do you have time for.
Hmm.
Don't make the excuse that you don't have time for something. Like you can make 10 minutes, 15, 20.
Yeah,
Today I only had 20 minutes, so I made it count. It was a little bit of a harder workout,
yeah,
but I made it count.
right.
So it's like, stop making excuses. And that translates into every other area of their life too.
Hmm.
It's like, well, now that I've got this mentality that I learned from fitness, it's like, where does that filter my kids, my job, myself,
Right.
self love, right?
Mhm. Well, it's establishing that foundation of discipline too. So Jocko wrote a book called Discipline Equals Freedom, and it really does give you more freedom because say you only had 15 minutes this morning, you can do step ups on the park bench, you can do hill sprints, whatever. So it's getting that mentality that like I'm still going to take this 15 minutes for myself and you're giving back to yourself. So therefore you have more energy, you have more joy, you've increased your heart rate, which is good for blood flow and concentration and clarity, and it just compounds, compounds, compounds. It's these tiny little micro decisions that we make that compound into something significant over time. And then you come back and you
Exactly.
feel refreshed and you're like, hey kids, what do you want for breakfast? Instead of like, we gotta get to school, blah blah blah, and like you're not in this like crazy like fight or flight mentality all the time, and your spouses recognize it. And then when you go to work or you're at home working, you have so much more creativity because you've given yourself something, and so now you want to give back. And that's the mentality that I'm trying to instill too, is the more you give to yourself, the more selfless it is because you're able to give more.
I had to learn
Yeah.
that too. It's like, as a mom of four, feel like I'm constantly giving. As a nurse, I'm a caregiver, and I feel like I get burnt out at the end of the day really, really easy, and I don't have any more to give to sometimes my spouse, and it's been a fun challenge trying to navigate all of that. But I've learned that if I don't do those things for me, I just can't be there for them. I can't be there for my patients. But at the same time, you do have to push yourself in a way to just not do nothing, like we said before. And I think with people during like just difficult days, it's really easy to just get depressed and say, what's the point? Like, nothing's going to get better. And then negative thoughts, like, just filter in and just take over. And it's like, why do I even bother? So what would you say to people that just have that mindset of, what's the point? When life is like happy, when life sucks.
Yeah, I've been there many times. And I'm a person of faith, so I always go to God first and I say, "Hey God, I don't know what your plan is for me right now. I'm going through it. You're putting me through this for a reason. I don't like it, but I trust you and I'm gonna sit with it." Right. But I'm really glad that I did because now I have so much clarity on those times where I did feel hopeless and now I'm like, "Oh, I can use this to help people." So, to answer your question, I think a lot of it comes from, like I said, the nervous system overregulation or dysregulation, and feeling like you don't have capacity. So that's like the science of it. And more like the psychology of it is a lot of that comes from limiting beliefs and feeling that you're not somebody who's capable of overcoming these things, or you're not somebody who's capable of receiving love or receiving gifts or having success. And so now it's time to eliminate all of those limiting beliefs because honestly, you're the person who's getting in the way of you. And no one else is really getting in the way of you besides you. So I think working on your mentality that I am worthy of love, I am worthy of success, I am worthy of abundance. God does love me and care about me. All of those things have just completely shifted my mentality. And it's the people you surround yourself with too. If the people around you are like the Eeyores in Winnie the Pooh and just like constantly walking around like, oh, life sucks, life is bad.
Hello.
Yeah, like eliminate those people or put them to the side for now until they go get their crap together. Surround yourself with like-minded people. Set a goal and be like, who are the people in my life that can help support this goal, or what networks do I need to put myself in? And I've done that, and I've completely like narrowed down my circle, but the people in my circle are the most incredible humans, and they love me and support me and want what's best for me. So that's key. And then moving your body, giving it back, like doing one little thing for yourself each day. And movement, if we're able to, is the best thing
Yeah.
you can give it. And love. It's a form of love.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
And people see it as like a to-do list.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, I gotta get this done. But if they change the perspective of this is helping me,
Yeah.
serving me, this enables me, it's becomes a joy to do. It becomes
Yes.
exciting. And then your mind interprets that as I have something to look forward to.
Mm-hmm.
This is fun. And then that changes the energy of your entire
Mm-hmm.
day. Hello. And I love the science. As a medical professional, it's like I always love learning about science
Yeah.
and anything science related. So it's very fascinating what I've learned about neuroscience reading like some of Dr. Joe Dispenza's books,
Mm-hmm.
and then him integrating some of like the yogic stuff with the different energy centers in the body. It's like those are chakras.
Yeah, the chakras. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's like those are the chakras. I'm like, yeah, it's real. It's not just yogic philosophy 101. It's real.
Yeah, I mean, some people will think that is like woo woo and witchy, but you can interpret chakras into it's just areas of your body that are delivering information to you. And so the Eastern practice kind of breaks it down into, like crown and uh what's this one?
Yeah, there's a pineal
Yeah,
gland,
and like your throat
your
chakra,
throat,
your heart, and then sacral and root or
stomach,
yeah.
sacral, and
Yeah.
all there. Yeah.
So that's the more like Eastern interpretation of it, where people get confused with it as being like demonic or whatever. But really, it's your body, it's your body's information centers. So like
Yeah.
if you're getting strep throat all the time, or you're feeling like your sinuses are constantly plugged, it's because there's a blockage, and it's your
Yeah, there's
body's
something that
information saying something's wrong. So,
exactly.
and if you're having constant stomach issues, which I know people with constant stomach issues, that's not because you're eating too much gluten usually. It's because something's up here or blocked here, and we need to figure out what those limiting beliefs are or what those blockages are, because usually it's psychological. Like,
Psychological, and it's like how we interpret just circumstances and how we put the meaning we place on it, because emotions do get stuck in the body
yeah.
in different areas, especially those three survival centers at the bottom.
Mhm.
1, 2, 3, those are the big ones that I've through my study.
Mhm.
And it's a lot of work
Mhm.
to work through those and to face undealt with trauma or things that have just been eating at you for years.
Well,
But once you
it comes out in
do,
women a lot too.
well, yes,
Like we
100%.
have all of our like reproductive issues, like the rise of PCOS and the severity of perimenopause and and menopause, and all of these other hormonal issues that women are facing often have to do with the identity crisis that we're facing, not feeling safe, not feeling empowered, not feeling like we're actually giving back to ourselves. And that's something that I want to do more research on, because I know a lot of women with like digestive issues and then reproductive issues, and my Eastern mentality is saying, okay, that's an energy system issue. Like we need to fix the energy that's blocked or that's going on in there. So, um, yeah, it kind of just like taps into what you were just saying.
Yeah, and there's also like environmental causes that I believe too. Like the nutrition side is equally
Yeah,
important,
yeah.
and getting rid of as many environmental toxins as you can in your circumstances. I think it's
Hmm.
both sides of the mental and the physical, that just affect our entire being as body of flesh and blood and spirit.
Hmm.
Because you can't say that one affects the other. Because, and then when it comes to, my mind goes back to when you said it. How can I live every day with like these 5 ruptured or injured discs? Did I hear you right?
Yeah,
You said
5.
5 for your cervical spine. It's like, is that painful on a daily basis for you?
It used to be like borderline debilitating. So it flared up really bad almost 2 years ago in September. And I was taking a PT test for the army, and you're maxing your body out. I was also going through a lot of emotional stuff. So when my emotional capacity is completely tapped, or I'm going through something emotionally significant, it manifests and flares up in my spine. So I was taking a PT test, and I hit the 1 mile mark for a 2 mile test. And I'm running, and I'm like, oh, I'm feeling good. Then all of a sudden, from here down into my foot, it just locked up. Like the entire spine and like right side of my body locked up. So
Oh
imagine
gosh.
like the Tin Man from the Wizard of Oz trying to run a mile. That was me. Like my left leg was working and my right leg was trying to do it. Thank God I have a strong base of fitness. Otherwise, I wasn't gonna pass that 2 mile. But
Oh
people
my
were like,
gosh.
"Man, what happened?"
What's wrong with
Yeah, and I was like, I don't know, I'm in so much pain. And so then I went to the medics and I started bawling. And then um, I met my dear friend Alexis, who's my chiropractor, and I said, buddy, I need your help. And we've been working intensely for the last 2 years on a care plan. But through all of that, it hasn't just been crack, 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 push, push. Like she's so good at what she does, and she can feel when my body is flared up, and she'll notice something and be like, hey, what's going on? And then I talk about whatever emotional thing is going on. And she's like, that makes sense. And so I've had to work on my emotional stability and my mental stability. And through all of that, like today, I feel fine. Like I can't feel a single thing unless if I really focus on it, I'll be like, yeah. But it's been like months, if not years, of being in chronic pain and being worried about, you know, is this movement gonna completely screw up my spine, or if I sleep wrong or sneeze wrong or whatever. Um, but today, like I walk nice and tall, and I can do as much in the gym as I could before, if not more. And it's due to
Yay.
like intense healing within and structurally.
I love that you've been able to get to a point now where you're pretty pain free. If I understand you correctly, I'm sure there's flare ups here and there where it's just like ow, but
Yeah,
then you recognize it and you know how to fix it. You go to
yeah,
your chiropractor. You've become so in tune with your body, and you've learned how to deal with those emotions. And when we're enduring something that's really hard, it's a huge shock to the nervous system. And people don't realize it, that it really is the nervous system that's in dysregulation. And it's really hard to find any type of joy
oh yeah,
in any of it. Like I told you, I had thyroid cancer and a thyroidectomy, and I've had to learn how to deal with not living with that very critical gland that does so much. Like I'll never take that for granted ever again.
yeah, right.
Never.
That's a
And
challenge within itself.
it is, and it's like, well, where is my joy? So for you, how did you answer that question? Like you were dealing with like, who the heck am I?
Yeah.
Like, what can I possibly be happy about?
Yeah, I think a lot of people know this book. I'm rereading it, but Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. So one of the main things he talks about is like finding your definite purpose. And I've known what my definite purpose is for a very long time, and a lot of people will never know what it is. So I'm grateful that I know mine. And so mine is to serve others, make them laugh, and give a voice to those who have none. And so when I am living in my definite purpose and living authentically as Alex, I find so much joy. And for me, that's singing and songwriting, and
You're
it's
a singer?
yeah,
Me too.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Love it.
It's one of my favorite things. I just posted a song I wrote yesterday, actually. Um,
Oh, you'll have to share that with me.
yeah, it's my
Listen.
favorite thing in the world.
Nice.
And making people laugh, and I love to do accents. I love to just be goofy and like just not have to
Oh,
be like Captain Michael or Coach Michael or future Dr. Michael, whatever. Like these are big
exactly.
titles, but when I can just be myself, I'm finding joy. And when I'm with people I love and having genuine human connection, that I just thrive off of that because I'm a level 10 extrovert, and human connection just fires out my soul.
That's
Um,
awesome.
and just it's like the little things, like I got to walk to Starbucks this morning and grab my favorite drink, and I'm
Yeah,
sitting and reading and playing with my cats, and it's just like you have to find joy in little things, in the mundane
you
sometimes.
do. 100%.
Yeah.
That's something that I'm a firm believer in that got me through it. I had to really step back, and that's what I talk about in my book. There was a reason that I wanted to put this female figure on, like as a diamond in the middle,
Hmm.
and then she's bursting out of
Oh,
the
yeah.
stone, because it's like we're the diamonds being refined amidst all that intense heat and pressure.
Yeah.
But each little thing we go through chips another impurity or creates another shiny piece of that diamond. And
Hmm.
it's like, if you don't see those little things through that refinement process, it's going to be hell on earth.
Exactly. And
And
that's part of like my coaching program too. It's like I teach you how to find joy in the process, and I teach you that um, if you're not having fun at all, don't do it. You need to have a
don't.
why. Like everything should have a why. Even if it's like I'm waking up at 6 a.m. Well, why? You need to know why you're waking
Wow.
up at 6 a.m. So
Yeah.
I think that's imperative that people need to understand is like those little fragments of joy will eventually create this priceless stone that we are trying to become.
Yeah, exactly. A state of being.
Hmm.
It's where it's more permanent. It's not fleeting and it's not found in things that are short term or fleeting like trends, or it's in the things that are going to be long lasting. Like you said, making people laugh. I love making people laugh myself. And living in your authentic self. If you are too afraid to be yourself, then now you're going back to that nervous system dysregulation. And then it's like, yes, you have to surround yourself with people who let you be yourself, or work environment. I was fortunate enough to find a nursing job where I can be my authentic self.
Yeah.
One of my patients, you're gonna love this. She's a teenager and she's nonverbal. She constantly looks like this all the time, pretty
Yeah.
much. But she's so funny. She loves farts and burps and funny noises.
So do
So
I.
I walk up to her and I go, "Ew, was that you?" And I pull my British accent or an Australian. Ah, was that you?
That's great. That's
Wow,
disgusting.
thing. So it's allowed me to just embrace that goofy side, and the musical side I'll be frequently singing at work or
I'm always
just
singing.
being ridiculous. So it's like that's been a huge blessing for me that I can just have that environment to be my goofy self.
Yeah.
So and we don't see it as blessings, and I didn't notice it or realize it until later that this environment was a blessing despite its challenges that it brings with these very high risk kids.
Oh yeah.
So, and I learned to look at everything I've been through just as one big great blessing, that it's all for me. And yours is meant for you too. You went through everything you had to go through for Alex to be the best Alex you can be. But it's not without that near death experience or the injuries, because you wouldn't be where you are without having gone through that. And most people look at it like, why did I have to go through this? Why does God hate me? And you find any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I just got back from a retreat this past weekend and it was entrepreneurial focused, but it was also very wellness focused. And we did a breathwork session. And if you haven't heard of Bart Miller, one of
Yeah,
my
I
favorite
love
humans,
Bart.
yeah, he led
I
us
love Bart.
through some breathwork at the end of one of the days. And I fully surrendered to the experience because I've done it a few times and it's like, okay, we're
Yeah.
gonna be screaming and yelling, and I'm like, I'm not gonna scream in this room full of people. No. But we had headphones in, which made it a lot easier for me to like accept that, okay, we're gonna do this. And so I did it and I went what he calls full out, and I was doing like sit-ups and like glute bridges and my body was sweating. Like I sweated through all of my clothes and I'm yelling and breathing. Like I have never been in that kind of state, but the most critical thing that happened during that time was while we were doing like the come down on the meditation, I like turned inward to myself and looked at all the different versions of me. And I said, I'm so sorry for what we've had to go through. I'm so sorry that I wasn't always my best, or I'm so sorry they hurt you, or what, like, and I went to me and I just gave myself the biggest hug, and like the soft little tender version of me is like crying into this strong, recreated version of me. And it's like, in doing that, I like got to just fully see Alex and like acknowledge every single version of her. And then they told us to turn outward and like look at the future version of ourselves. And I was like, oh, she's badass. Like, hell yeah. She's way more ripped right now than me right now. And like I got to like see this version of myself that I wanted to become. And it really just allowed me to like show myself so much love, which I feel like, especially in the army or in corporate America or this modern day lifestyle, like we're almost discouraged to show ourselves any sort of love and appreciation. And
Yeah.
so I was able to do that. And I let go of so much crap during this like screaming portion, I think. And it unlocked this level of like clarity. So I was born with some stuff that was wrong with my eyes, and now I can like
Okay.
see straight, which I haven't been able to do my entire life. My voice went up several octaves in singing, so I'm able to sing songs I've
Woo!
never been able to sing. All of the spinal stuff, it doesn't flare up. And this was only a couple days ago, mind you, like a week ago. And it's it's so mental. It's so mental. We have no idea how much power we have up here. And I encourage people to do stuff like that, to get vulnerable, to get deep, and to look within, acknowledge the person that you've been and different versions of you, acknowledge who you are now, and like truly envision who it is you want to see. All of this stuff kind of sounds like woo woo and hippie, but it's really not. It's just your
It's
mind.
really
It's
not,
your subconscious.
because you have to accept where you are right now. And yes, you said sorry to yourself, but at the same point, you loved yourself. Like, would you go back and change anything if you could do it again? Would you go back and change anything?
I think I would say just like little things like, hey, we don't need to buy that. This isn't a lesson. Like, save the 20, like, and just have that compound over time and maybe have like a couple extra $1,000 of stuff that I didn't spend on dumb crap.
Yeah,
But
we've all been there.
girl, it's a Wednesday. We don't need to go out to eat. You're fine. Just eat at home.
Yep. Fine. Like,
But like there's so many times I've thought about, oh, I wish I could go change that. I wish I never met that person. I wish I never got married. I wish I never did the blah blah blah. And then I'm like, but I wouldn't be here. Like if I didn't. And so sure we can wish that we never did something, but if you don't learn the lesson from it, you're bound to repeat it, and then it's only going to keep sucking you down more and more. You have to learn the lesson in whatever thing that you wish you didn't do, because if you don't, then it's just going to be regret, and then you're going to be mopey and annoying.
and annoying, yeah,
Yeah.
because no one's going to want to be around you.
Yeah.
Well, I've really enjoyed talking with you, Alex, hearing your story. Where can they find what you're...
Right now, I just have social media. So you can find me. My personal Instagram is alex.mikle, M-I-K-L-E. But if you want to get more of like the information that I put out, it's just Rounds Complete Fitness. So you can find that on Instagram, Facebook. I mainly post all my educational stuff on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok.
Yes, well, I loved your story, and people can find you at it's Alex Mikle, Mikle, not like the...
It sounds like the name,
Or,
but it's spelled
yeah,
very
yeah,
different.
yeah, not like the traditional way we think of Michael.
Yeah.
And Brown's Complete Fitness. If you were interested in learning more about what Alex has to offer, look her up and take her lessons, her experiences to heart. No matter what we all go through, the framework, from what I've seen, tends to be the same. It's like, how are you interpreting it? Are you looking inward? Are you finding joy in the little things? And what can you make time for?
Mm-hmm.
All those things compound into a fulfilled life. And you're living in your authentic self. And you've shared that beautifully with everyone of how it just applies to everyone in every circumstance. And I appreciate you sharing your journey. And on that note, thanks for joining us, everyone.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you having me.
You're welcome.